I have half an hour spare, so I wanted to hop on and reflect this for everyone, but also for my own personal remembrance and channeled message. Where's Katie? No Zoom anymore. Live at the moment on YouTube. Yeah, so I want to speak about this weird experience that has been happening to me. It's been going on for a little while. I just want to check that this sound's working and everything. In meditation, it's been happening. So, yay. Yeah, so there's this weird phenomenon that has been happening. That's not how you say the word, but this weird experience of the heart flickering, like a weird vibration coming from the heart chakra. And I just want to bring out for awareness those that don't know, like everybody's speaking about chakras in the spiritual community, like that does come from Hinduism. And really that's where a lot of this information, like I couldn't really find much in regards to what's going on, why is the heart flickering, da, 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 da. And you know, it brought me to the Atman, which is the soul or the spirit. And, you know, we speak about the soul, you know, I think that's from a Gnostic view, just jumping around all the religions, being on the outside. And then, you know, by the Father's will, like wisdom, Sophia was willed internally. I feel like that's really what has been happening because it feels like it's outside of the body and it's this flicker, and I could sense that it really wants to be in the sanctity and the safety of like the internal chambers. And you know, through group session today, like I had some reflections and also spoke to the energy. So what's happening is within meditation there's just this intensity when I reach like a calm space of a vibration or a flicker of something, and I'm like, is it someone else's energy, is it mine? In the end, you know, we really narrowed it down to it being my soul, and that's really where, you know, I've been guided through research today. So I wanted to come on and just reflect some things in regards to the steadiness, how to steady the flame. And, you know, this can really be reflected of steadying the mind, like within meditation or just day to day. We do have like this, the state of a yogi's mind during meditation. Within Hinduism, we have Lord Krishna uses this term to steady the flame. And that's really, you know, where I was led to. Like, it just is what it is. And I feel like it's coming up due to the intensity of everybody talking about chakras all the time. And it's like, are you all aware that that's Hinduism? No judgment here, just bringing it up for awareness and offering it. So, you know, if we just look at it in the general terms of reaching a mindfulness, or I like to say mindlessness, you know, really just reaching that observer state, that meditative state, and, you know, seeing this restrained mind of a practicing, you know, meditator, and the soul or the spirit, you know, to be identified within a lamp or as a lamp, you know, and keep your oil lanterns burning. However, you want like a lamp with a little flame in it, if you will, like you want it to not flicker. When a flame is placed in an open area, it flickers due to the external breeze. So you could see this as spiritual attacks or thought forms, and the direction of the flame depends on the direction of the breeze. And you can really tap in and gauge, is it coming from this way? Is it coming from that way? Is it coming from, in the higher chakras or the lower chakras? And to keep the flame steady, it must be protected from disturbances. So, really, the Father willing that soul within into the sanctity of the heart, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So, you all may have heard of the term samadhi, obviously, like there was those huge videos, Samadhi 1 and 2, there might have even been more of them, you know, teaching you all to like escape the matrix and reach like these spaces of non-identification, like to the physical and external experience. However, you still are a human and you're still experiencing like day-to-day things. So in meditation, thoughts are like the flame. When focusing on the soul, the thought is often not retained because other thoughts intrude, causing the mind to flicker due to external influences. When the flame is steady, it represents this aspect or this mind space or heart space or soul space where you can really focus on the soul, focus on the spirit, and it isn't disturbed by external thoughts like the mind's thoughts from past, present, and future. Steadying the soul thought, if you will, because the soul is a reception, and it is in truth, it's like the true flesh. So to maintain the steadiness of the soul's perspective and reception, one needs protection from, this, from dispassion, really. Like, you really have to move into wanting to get to know you, like wanting to know your soul, wanting to move into a soul love, self love. Worries arise. They often arise from concerns about the past, present, and future, especially the future, which includes actual and imaginary scenarios, as well as concerns about family members' opinions. That's a huge thing that happens within meditation. So the solution is to surrender these non-useful thoughts to God. You could say, God, please help dissolve any non-useful thoughts during this meditation. Or you could simply say, erase to whatever non-useful thoughts arise within your meditation. So, the flickerless flame is an example of the restrained mind of someone engaging in meditation. It is random, isn't it? It's just, I've really been quite disturbed by this flickering, and it just sent me down a huge rabbit hole today. So, someone that is engaged in meditation on the self or the internal realm, and you really dissolve these layers of the ego and you reach a level of soul. And I feel like that's really what's happened for me. I've been doing so much meditation, and I've really unveiled my soul, and like the soul's flickering around because it has been really disturbed by external influences recently and maybe suppressed and whatnot. So certain things that are also coming through, just some like general things in regards to the collective. These are just certain things that came up, like avoid injuring others, give up violence, physical, verbal, mental, because it disturbs your mind. So these are things that are really going to help you reach that steadiness within your heart flame. Give up speaking untruth or making things bigger than they actually are. Give up falsehood at thought, verbal level. Otherwise, you will start to doubt yourself, and there'll be this internal, like, soul doubt. Non-stealing any benefit that you or you see others like gaining through unfair deals, is a stolen benefit, and this will translate into like low self-esteem and guilt in the future. Giving up inappropriate attitude, relationship towards the opposite sex for all the twin flames out there. Oh, you're in a trance. Cool. Give up possessing, like avoid possessing too much, amassing wealth. According to scriptures, one has to share with society. That's what makes you grow and, you give to receive. So not too much possessions at this time. Like we're all really being relinquished of a lot of possessions. So they were some of the don'ts. Some of the do's. Maintaining purity both internally and externally. Internal purity refers to keeping the mind free from negative thoughts and emotions, while external purity involves cleanliness of the body and surroundings, like clean your house, look after yourself, wear nice fresh clothes, have baths like Katie is, and showers. Katie, you seem to always be in the bath lately. Contentment means being satisfied with what one legitimately earns or is attracting and receiving. It involves avoiding comparisons with others and instead focusing on your immediate environment, personal growth, and self improvement. Definitely a do is scriptural study, and a lot of y'all just could not be effed, but it's the living word and it's lit and it really helps. We do have living a simple life of discipline and non excess indulgence. It means observing moderation in all aspects of life and avoiding excessive indulgence in material comforts. We have surrendering to God, surrendering to the divine. It includes accepting the moral and physical orders as manifestations of this universe, acceptance of life's experiences, whether joyful or challenging. And, this means not resisting or criticizing any experience, but understanding it as a result of one's, you're reaping what you sow, like one's karma, like past actions. Acceptance should be objective, thinking solution mode without allowing experiences to generate bitterness, anger, or jealousy. It involves recognizing that what I get is what I deserve without judgment and praying for the strength to face life's inevitable challenges or karma. This surrender is known to many of y'all, I'm sure. So yeah, really training yourself to like stay in a meditative space, whether sitting or lying down, and regulating your breathing, as breathing is the fastest and easiest way to affect the mind. Uh, really withdrawing from your senses and the external world. Sense control is like a huge thing right now for everybody. What else? Turning your mind away from the world and fixing an object of meditation, like the initial adjusting of a camera to focus on the subject. The object of meditation varies according, to where y'all are at in regards to your level of meditation. How well you can meditate, but picture like a flame of light, like the sun or the lamp or anything that reminds you of God. It could be Christ, it could be a tree, it could be anything. Really focus your thoughts, like your mental activity, on the divine throughout the day. Just noticing every time you catch yourself up, just like focus on the divine and move into reception in the heart. Uh, yeah, it's really about like training the mind and the focus. and not even observing the emotions, like realizing that you are not your thoughts and feelings, and literally like retraining your brain and focusing on compassion for oneself, like just refusing to entertain thoughts connected to random daily events or what happened yesterday, or like negative thought forms or negative emotions, just refusing to even entertain them within your meditation can really steady. It's really about opening the heart chakra at this time, like moving into reception. And just remember, like, your soul, the spirit is formless, really, and it can expand, contract, move around. It's not going to move around like a person moves around. So, yay, Jennifer. Thank you so much for your patience. It's coming. I promise. Could actually do that tonight. It's the light spectrum. Like, your soul is the light spectrum. So, just observing it, and like, it's consciousness itself pretty much, and observing that rather than your thoughts and your emotions. Observe where the spirit goes or where your soul goes, and focusing on it expanding and contracting and moving, like, does it want to escape your body? Just like allow it to go. It'll always come back and it'll always want to integrate into the heart. It becomes effortless over time, just like riding a bike. Like, eventually everything moves with momentum, and you enter this autopilot state. You get past that involuntary like effort due to the presence of the ego and individuality, and you just move into this flow state. I mean, you can do it now, like when you're listening, because it's that subject who is witnessing absence of objects. It's still a subject object duality. However, the life story goes away. This sense of I, or the subject, resolves pretty much. Thus, there is no subject object duality once you integrate it. That's the highest form of non-duality. It's a form of blissful time-bound experience, because the soul is beyond time, space. Like, a lot of people think that souls have ages and this and that. It's like, no. You are experiencing maybe more remembrance than someone else, so you feel like an older soul, like, it's just awareness is the gift. Yeah, just really becoming the observer of like your soul. We talk about becoming the observer of your thoughts and emotions. Trust me, I've done that much meditation, that many hours of meditation, and it's like the thoughts just keep coming. Like, it's collective. There's been that many billions of souls that, like, every thought that has ever been thought, like, still exists. It's energies in motion. Energy doesn't die. So it really is about observing the spirit. Like, keep your eyes on spirit rather than just continuously processing the lower self, like parts of the ego. Just getting a drink. Yeah, so I'll stay on for like another 10 minutes or so. I just wanted to get this up so I could even look back at it. Because it was really like quite intense, the flickering. And, now that I have awareness in, because I knew it was my soul, it was someone else's soul, or it was a spirit, like I knew it was in the soul of the spirit realm. It wasn't a thought form, it was an emotion that was flickering. And, I received some really cool reflections of Soul Tribe today. And, just then in group communicated to the energy. And yeah, just awareness is the gift, and it's really come through. Like, our souls are wanting to go home, our souls are wanting to integrate everything and the soul really isn't traumatized like the ego wants to perceive. Like, the soul is infinite beyond the constraints of the like lower self and uh, the mind and the feelings. The soul is truly one with spirit, one with source, and it's just about recognizing that, and then all the veils like dissolve. There's just a lot of doctrines in regards to like, oh, your soul has to be saved, and like a soul cry, and this and that. Like, you can definitely experience a soul cry. However, it's coming from like lack consciousness, it's coming from separation consciousness. Like, in truth, it doesn't exist. And until you accept that fear is an illusion, it's something other than you perceive, even the dark's agenda is light, it's pushing you towards the light. Until you can flip it into that unity awareness of unconditional love, you are gonna have a hard time, because you're gonna be judging and discerning, and it's just gonna become a shit show of like, this is good and this is bad. Like, none of us in truth are the last judge. So it's best to just connect to the soul and see the soul as purity. Hopefully everyone sees everyone's soul as purity. It's the heart that's like, if you're looking from like scripture, it's the heart that is wicked, not the soul. Like, every soul stands with God, every soul is purity, every soul is innocent, and every soul is light. So that's like a huge shift to move out of, this soul is damned, or this soul is tainted, or, he doesn't have a very nice soul, or she doesn't have a nice soul. Like, you can't be perceiving those things, because they're lower self experiences that are bound in lack consciousness and separation consciousness of the human experience, not the soul's experience. So just observing and integrating the soul into the heart. I mean, your soul might even want to go through like other spheres within your vessel and, dance around a little bit. Just allow it to flow where it wants to flow. Just observe it. Like, you can observe it now. Like, where do you feel your soul is? Is it outside your body? Is it inside your body? Is it, at the top of your body? Is it lower down? Really, you want to reach that precipice of the singularity within the heart. And that's where true bliss can really be experienced. And that's really where the blockages are of separation, even from birth, like from becoming separate from, just say, your mother's womb or something of the sort, or, separate from divinity. Maybe some of you'll remember before you were, born into this physical incarnation, like, whatever it is, just allow your soul to usually it only takes like 5-10 minutes of meditation and you just observe it. Like right now, for awareness, my soul is it's still doing the flickering thing. It really is. Like there's so much that I've been focusing on in the mind. And there's a lot of, beings that I connect to and a lot of projections at times. However, if I don't allow the soul to just flow where it wants to flow, so like, right now it's kind of like on the outside of the heart chakra. And then if I just allow it to flow, it kind of like nestles internally. However, if I don't allow it to, if I don't just take that moment to focus, it really starts to hurt. I feel like stabbing pains. I get that flickering thing going on. And it's kind of like it's been stuck on the outside of the vessel. And that's a whole, you know, expression. Let's see if I can find that expression. I think I just shut my laptop down, but where the Father wills the soul from externally internally. Because I tell you, it's not a very nice feeling. Again, we are not our thoughts and feelings. But that's what happens. Like, you'll start identifying with feelings and then thoughts will come with it because it'll be like, I don't really like that feeling. Why is it, dense there? Why do I feel like a hole in my heart? Or like, you guys might have, blockages somewhere else in the body, in the vessel. Let's see. Just guided for us to intend, when two or more come together, the spirit really is upon. So just intending compassion for each other and protective white light and coming together in a little soul hug, everybody nestling in. Yeah, it may be quite hard to find. However, the soul on the outside, the soul is perceived as feminine and it shouldn't be on the outside because that's like male genitalia is on the outside, feminine is like internal. And, if the soul is on the outside, it really isn't protected from the debris and, the dirtiness of physical reality. And, it really is about intending your soul back inside your heart, which, in Christianity is seen as like the bridal chamber. And this is where the sacred marriage happens. This is the merging of personalities really happen within and the making of two into one. That which God has willed together, let no man separate type of templates come in. Interesting. Yeah, I'm really getting the heart shakes. It's so full on. Yeah, so I can't necessarily find it, but that's the gist of it. Like the impurities, you're not protected from the impurities from the external. So, just ask God to sanctify your soul and will it internally so it can be protected in your heart or the bridal chamber, like whatever you perceive it to be. And I mean, that's where you will find unity, as well, whatever type of unity you're looking for. Maybe you're just looking for unity with your children or, your spouse or God. Whatever it is, you will find unity within. But yeah, I think that is pretty much, like, a fair bit came through in regards to the unwavering do's and don'ts, for this time to really calm that flame down. Just putting my shoes on, sorry guys. Just calming that flame down, and an unwavered flame, you can really like get it burning and glowing, and get that fire within really ramping up. And that's where your passions and inspirations and motivations like start to come through, and your inspired ideas from your intuition. You'll start taking action. You'll be like, oh, I should have thought of that before. Wow, I have epiphanies, this and that. I really do advise intending, your soul back within your vessel. Like, that's the whole point of this live. We give ourselves away, we go through trauma and there's fragmented parts of our souls. You could do like a soul reclaiming meditation or something of the sort. However, what I have noticed is the soul literally will just like come to the body and not know how to like get back in. That's one simple way of putting it. It's kind of like my soul was like, I'm here. Yeah, it was kind of like, in one way you could perceive it as shaking, because it's like, I'm sick of being out here, outside, I'm cold, I want to integrate back in. I want to integrate into the heart chakra. Because a lot of you'll see God as like up in the skies or like externally or something of the sort. And it's like, nah, the kingdom of heaven is within. And, as within, so without. It's really about integrating everything internally and just allowing the soul, like, that's a major thing, like allowing the soul to be observed and move around, expand, contract, float around, dance around, do what it wants to do within meditation. Because a lot of you'll feel like your souls have been like, every like abuse and trauma, like it really affects the lower self. It can't affect the higher self. This is the thing. However, we all have been programmed and conditioned, I suppose, to be like, you could say it's upon the heart, not necessarily upon the soul. That's why observing the soul and becoming awareness of the soul, you'll remember how like strong and pure you actually are, and how untraumatized you actually are. Yeah, so the flickering really has calmed down. It's, darkness wanting to be recognized, shining the light of awareness on it. And that really is the masculine perceiving the feminine, the soul. So, this unity of masculine and feminine going on. And, maybe you could even imagine like you as a masculine, or it just doesn't really matter, like everyone's masculine, feminine. But you as a masculine, like encouraging the soul. However, the soul really just wants to be observed. It doesn't want to be told by the masculine what to do. If you feel like your soul is just continuously, like if it's quite erratic and it's like expanding, contracting, breathing in and out, it's going really high up, it's going really like around your auric egg, and you just can't get it into your heart chakra. You could have some gentle nudges from the divine masculine to, really will it internally. And that could help. Or just gentle whispers like, into the heart. Something of the sort. Because the flickering is like from wind, which is air element, which is thought forms. So it's not actually your soul shaking. It's not actually a traumatized soul or something of the sort. It's being flung around by all these thought forms, pockets of thoughts, really. If you feel like your soul is like drowning, that would be in the feels, would be in the emotions. However, the flickering of the flame, looking at that metaphor and representation, it really is the thought forms, like your mind is focusing on too many different things. It could be others, projections, yours. It doesn't really matter. No one really owns their thoughts anyway. Like, every thought that's ever been thought has been thought. And they're all just flinging around in which it truly is the air element. And, that's why like belching's really good. We used to speak about this in group, but really clearing thought bombs like through having a good burp, like, and crying really clears your emotions, clears the hearts because it's the water element. And taking a shit really clears like the physical body because it's the earth element, and this is the spirit, is the soul, is the fire, and it's being flickered by the air element, which is the mind. So we just stop observing the mind and the emotions and just observe, be that witness of the soul, because that witness space is the consciousness, and the soul is one with spirit. It's the infinite light spectrum. So that's why it's best not to try and do anything with the soul, like just allow it. But I mean, I've been in meditation for 40 minutes sometimes, and the soul and the spirit just keeps moving around, sometimes focused awareness from that shining the light of awareness, like, which is a masculine aspect, and the feminine is seen as a reception of the soul. So really that communication, you can communicate, however there's just so many layers upon the soul, especially at this time, like due to misinterpretations of what a soul actually is. Like, a lot of people call their soul their higher self, and it's like, not necessarily. Your higher self is another like illusion. It's another construct. It's not your soul. I can assure you that. It's like if you have your mind body in alignment, you're taking those actions, like that's your higher self, being in the highest possible version of you, whereas your soul is legit light. It is beyond time space, it's beyond identification, it's beyond personality, even in the truest form, which is hard for a lot of people to swallow because they believe their personality like comes from the soul. I mean, that's persona. It's coming from, the feelings and the thoughts that make you up, that makes your personality. I do believe there's, uniqueness of souls, and God made every single soul with a specific purpose. However, not necessarily like personality, because you can see our environment really has a lot to do with our personality and our upbringing and this and that. So, yeah, I hope this helped some of y'all. I better get off the phone, but I will connect to y'all soon. Namaste, amen.